Hello guys, it's Christian from Nordic. Today I have with me here Sander, who played in our last local tournament with 32 participants. And he finished third, getting beaten only by me in the final with my Shadol deck. That should already be up on the channel. And what do you want to show everyone what you played?
Yeah, to be honest, I played Altergeist, as you can see, and I wanted to play Dogmatica Altergeist, but all these cards came on Mondays, so I played a different version, and it ended up doing pretty well.
Yeah, indeed.
For Altergeist cards, it's pretty stable. I don't think you can change anything on that. That is something you can change. Everything needs to be on 3 and
Yeah,
2 and 1.
that's
So
that's been like the ratio for the past
yeah,
two, three
ever since it
years.
came out.
Yeah, not much to talk about.
I choose only these two hand traps because Dragoon is a card that I hate, so I needed to have out for Red Ice Fusion
Yeah,
for all those random decks now.
makes
And
sense.
Nibiru is just good against combo decks.
Yeah,
Specifically, when I have traps, I can use with Nibiru also. So I can use this card going first, actually, also. Because I don't leave a big field, so I can Nibiru on them on their turn with traps to protect it also.
yeah, makes sense. And I think you're right on playing the Ash for like the specifically because of Dragoon. Like it must be pretty
Yeah,
much impossible to out with your deck.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then a card that ended up being MVP, Inspector Border.
Unga
I,
Bunga.
to be honest, I have no idea on how many games I won with this, but I think it was 4 or 5 on this card alone.
Wow.
Um, except in the finals, that was actually where this card was the easiest beat up because you had the Shadows Schism, so it's
Yeah,
yeah,
so for
that's
everyone who doesn't know, Schism sends a monster of the same attribute it summons. So when I made Construct, I could just send the Inspector Border.
I won against a Prankets player by having this and Maonetta and traps to protect, and I beat over the cards with Maonetta and beat him to death with Inspector Water.
Makes
So it didn't
sense.
even
They
use
get
any effect.
they get one monster effect from the Link monster and you negate it and then they pass. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
For spells, I
Hmm.
use 2 Pot of Dualities because I don't need to special summon as much on my turn. The Link monsters and things like that is not needed at all.
I have to say that's one of my favorite ultis. That's a very nice duality you have there.
And this pot card is the best there is. That I of course Pot of Greed is better, but
Yeah, yeah.
to get consistency here, that's amazing. To get multi-faker easy, to get spoofing, to get the cards I need. This is one of the big reasons why I came in top.
So can I add a little comment here because actually
Yeah,
I play this card as well in Shadows, and I think I've mentioned it before, but I think that there's sort of a similar dynamic to our decks where you need to see Altergeist monsters and traps, and I need to see fusion spells and fusion material. So in that sense, like the reason our decks can lose typically is if you open only one part of the equation without the other. So if you open 5 Altergeist monsters or you open 5 trap cards but you don't see any monsters. I have the exact same problem with
actually,
opening too many Shaddolls and no fusion spells or too many fusion spells and no Shaddolls. And I feel like this card is just so key in fixing those decks. So I play it in my deck as well for a similar reason that you do in yours.
yeah, it makes sense. It's really, really a good card.
Yeah, it's my favorite pot, except for Pot of Greed.
And that's all my spells. For traps, the start is 3 spoofing,
Hmm.
2 protocol, and a manifestation.
Yeah, standard.
That's just the normal reason. Some people play 2. I think I think it's stupid because you can loop this run around, so it makes no sense to do it.
I think the only people I've seen play two make like the for trap trick and stuff like that.
Impermanence. It's not a great hand trap to be honest, but it can trigger multi-figure, and that's the only reason why it's actually used.
I think it's not that terrible. Like against virtual world, a lot of people think it's terrible because of they activate in hand and Graven, sorry, in the hand. But against something like Cloud Castle, it can actually be pretty big.
Exactly. The negation part didn't really happen throughout this
Do you mean
week, so
the back row
yeah.
negation?
Yeah, the both actually. I only used it once, and it didn't matter in that situation. So we could combo without the negate.
Something
It didn't
funny
matter at
though,
all.
it does out inspect the border.
It does. 3 strike, and this card is for some reason glued to my hand.
It might be
I
the
had it
rarity.
way too much. It might be I had it way too much, and that is.
Yeah, that card is very nice in this format, indeed.
And removal of like the same with Nibiru, to have a Nibiru and a Torrential Tribute or 2 Torrential Tributes to blow everything away twice. It's the combo decks can get through that.
I agree.
Normally.
I actually side TT as well for the Virtual World matchup for the same reason.
Order, I only had it twice, and the one time I had it, it was outed by Shaddoll Dragon pretty quick.
Hello.
So, yep. For extra deck, a lot of Link 1s. These cards are pretty stable. This is for when you want to have a monster bot, but Shaddoll specifically, where you can get El Mirage off so you don't leave an extra deck monster on your field.
Mm-hmm.
These two makes normal sense, and this one is actually because you have some spellcasters that you special some of Multifaker that is not normal summon monsters or link monsters or level 1 monsters, so you cannot use any of these, but you can still make this one with it, and that is great for a card later.
So you mean in another turn, right? Because of Multifaker's restriction.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Phoenix and Hexia, I never made this, but I actually didn't make Hexias as much as I would. I only made them twice, but when I made them, I usually made both.
Yeah.
So
I think it can be greedy to make Hextia sometimes.
Yeah. Unicorn and Celine to make access code Talker, because a lot of my cards are spellcasters. And the only card I had to out Dragoon, and that is why this guy. Because then you have another link monster to make
Sure.
So
it's also nice that you can play like one-off link monsters as opposed to the extravagance build. So the fact that you can choose the prosperity stuff is nice.
I think actually I made this once, but only once. And extra cards, these two make sense because of course I play Super Polymerization. I actually didn't want to play Starving Venom Dragon because I really don't think a lot of the decks play into that card right now. But they play a lot more into Mud Dragon and Construct, because I know that in the Nordic there is a lot of shit-out decks, and that's why I Construct.
That might be my fault.
For side deck, the 3 Super Polymerization.
Yeah, that card's nice.
That card's nice, and it worked for me one time I drew it. It was against you, actually, to make the Mud Dragon, so that you could not use your face down Shaddoll Squamata to pop my card because you can't target it.
Can't target it, yep.
Evenly, I drew it a lot of times, actually. It went pretty good, and I always, when I used evenly, I of course had the Multifaker with it.
Nice.
And that's, didn't matter because I didn't face Drytron.
Yeah.
They have pretty much phased out a lot, right?
Do you side it against Eldritch too?
I didn't face Eldritch, but
I
don't think I would.
No?
I don't think I would in this situation because a lot of my cards is pretty good against them, so I don't want to side a lot out.
Okay.
And there's cards in this that's more important than this one. So I don't think I had the room to side out.
Sure.
Because this card is also pretty good against that, of course, with my cards to bounce.
That card is good against everything.
Yeah. I don't think I have that harsh of a matchup against Eldritch because I can easily bounce the Golden Lord back to the hand. So, and Needle Sealing, I should have played 3 in my side deck, but I couldn't find my last one. But I had it the 2 times I sided in, so it was fine. And the last side deck card, and no, I shouldn't play it, the Mask of Restrict. I didn't face any Drytrons.
So, yeah.
But nice. I think I only had the one, so I was like, I had Pot of Prosperity, pray to God to get it, and then flip it on them, and then it's easy win.
You prosperity for 6, right?
Always.
So you have, like, if you have prosperity in your starting hand, you have almost like a 26-27% chance to see restrict, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, because in my situation, I need one card to link into a link one. I only need one of them, and I have the super poly and targets here. To make, I can also take those out if I don't play super poly. Easy to get out, and I have these cards. If I'm not going, if I'm going second, then I don't need these cards against the dogma cards.
Yeah, you have a lot of
cards
choice.
to side out.
Yeah. With the pros, it's the same for shit all. You just pick sort of what you need in the specific game.
Exactly.
Any final words you'd like to say? Any comments on the deck or the match or anything like that?
Not really. Big shout out to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Nordic here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, come join our locals. We play every Saturday at 11 on the Discord server. Link in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.